There we go. Hey, everyone. So today we're going to do a little hands-on activity to reinforce the metric system. And it's a simple activity, and you may have done it in the past, but I feel like I have enough kids that I notice are having a hard time with millimeters, centimeters, decimeters, and meters, that this is just going to be a fun little activity that will help to reinforce that. So let's go over this ruler here. And I'm wondering if you're seeing that backwards, so let me switch that. There we go. Okay, so here's the ruler, and if you look at the numbers here, this says centimeters, it starts right at 0. Sometimes there's a little space before that. You always want to make sure you start measuring wherever your 0 is. So here's your centimeters, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 centimeters is equal to a decimeter. Then also, 10 of these little millimeters, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, is equal to a centimeter. So the little tiny lines are the millimeters. So what we're going to do today is we're going to make 10 decimeters. And we are going to measure them by measuring out 10 centimeters, because that's what we see on our ruler. So we are going to make 10 decimeters and put them all together, end to end, and make a meter stick. And see how close we can get to making an actual meter stick at the correct length. So you're going to start by making sure that your paper is lined up with the number 0 on your ruler. And we're going to make 2 marks at the 10 centimeter mark. So there's 1, then move it down a little bit, and 2. All right, once you have your 2 marks, you're going to turn your ruler and use it as a straight edge to draw a straight line through those 2 marks. Okay, and I'm just using regular note cards. If you're at home doing this activity, you can use note cards, or you can also use a piece of paper that you just measure out 10 centimeters. All right, so I cut that extra part off. It is 10 centimeters from here to here, and we don't need a really thick ruler, so we are going to just cut this into 3. Try to make them as equal as possible, about equal pieces. So I can do that by pretty much putting my ruler in the middle and drawing a line on each side. Now this middle one will be a little bit bigger, so I'm actually going to cut on the inside of that line. Notice how I'm cutting on the inside so that there's a little space there to make them a little bit more equal. The width is not that important, it's the length that's actually pretty important. See how I'm going to cut this right here on the inside. And I have right now 3 decimeters in my note card. Okay, so the next step, after you have for your decimeters, you're going to be cutting 10 decimeters out. So you'll need 4 note cards, and then you'll have 2 extra decimeters you can get rid of. But you'll use 4 note cards to make your 10 decimeters. Once you have your 10 decimeters, you are going to start taping them together end to end. And you want to make sure that here, I'll put this one right here because I need a couple more decimeters on there. You want to butt them up to each other right next to each other without an overlap. So here's together, and then if I go like this, that's overlapped. See how that's an overlap? We want to make sure that we go correctly end to end. Now for this part, I like to use a piece of masking tape. I'm going to get some masking tape out here to tape them. You can also use whatever tape you have around the house if you're at home, but the masking tape, you can see it. I guess Scotch tape would be just as good. Butt them up end to end and put a piece of masking tape on both sides. Here, whoops, see if that happens where it's crooked, just undo it. That's not the nice thing about the masking tape, is you can work with it a little bit. And then just put it end to end. So let's put another one on this side. All right, and let's do one more. Now, what I would like you to do when you finish is to add the millimeters and centimeters for just one of these decimeters so that we can really solidify that understanding of the base 10 system, that there is 10 millimeters in a centimeter and then 10 centimeters. So I'm going to show you. So here, this is my nice long meter stick. There is 10 decimeters to make that meter stick. It's a flexible meter stick. You'll be able to fold it like this. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And we could actually use this to measure things. So here I have just one of those decimeters, and I am going to measure out my centimeters here. I'm going to move this up a little bit because there's a bit of a glare, and I want to make sure you can see what I'm doing. So here I'm going to put this on my decimeter, and I'm going to mark my centimeters on here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 10. And then I'm going to label those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I'm going to put centimeters by that. So I remember that that is how big a centimeter is. It is about the size of your pinky finger, your pinky nail there. And then I'm going to take one of those centimeters and divide that into 10 little pieces. So hopefully you can see this. There's a bit of a glare, but here I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the fifth one is the big one in the middle, and those are millimeters. So I'm going to put little millimeters by them. You don't have to do 100, but there is 100 millimeters in this decimeter. And then if we do 100 times 10 of these decimeters, there will be 1,000 millimeters in a decimeter. So let's write the conversions right on here on another one of these little decimeters. We have 10 millimeters equals 1 centimeter. 10 centimeters equals 1 decimeter. We have 10 decimeters equals 1 meter. And then we could add a couple more, right? So there's 100 centimeters in all these decimeters. Wait, 100, yeah, because there's 10 times 10. So 100 centimeters equals 10 decimeters, or 100 centimeters equals 1 meter, because 10 decimeters is the same as 1 meter. We could say that there is 1,000 millimeters in 1 meter. And that would also be the same as 10 decimeters or 100 centimeters. So you could continue this pattern and write down a lot of different conversions and how they're equal to each other. And I think this will kind of help us remember that the metric system is a base 10 system. So that's what we're going to do for our activity today. All right, enjoy.